Angela Cummings is back. She didn't draw as many students this time, but she did draw just as much attention, as UTC police arrested a student today for trying to break the barrier around her. I'm Tia Coleman with Mox News.
A young man tried to break our barricade to get in there at her. He was repeatedly warned to stay outside the barricade and not approach Miss Cummings. And after the third warning, he attempted to go back into the circle to get at her. And basically, what he stated was he wanted to ask her a question. After he was directed 3 times not to do so, then we tried to extract him from the circle. And at that point, he refused to obey all directives, and we placed him under arrest.
UTC police has identified why the student was arrested but could not name the student.
We weren't going to ask him any questions. He had already violated the statute, so at that point we decided to place him under arrest for the safety of not only my officers but for all the patrons here as well as the Miss Cummings.
We have the video of the arrest from Josh Morales, a senior here at UTC. The video only displays the actual arrest. There isn't footage of how many times police asked the man to back away from the circle before they arrested him.
This guy came by on a bike, and he stopped and said something to her that I didn't catch, and she retorted back with something that pissed him off. And anyways, the police told him to move on, just to keep going, move along. And he apparently got back on his bike and tried to keep going, but through the circle that they had blocked off. And once the second he took off into that circle, they literally grabbed him and just tackled him right off of his bike. And that's when it all started. And everyone was, our crowd started gathering, and everyone was wondering what was going on. He was struggling a little bit because he was like, what did I do wrong? I don't understand. They were able to pin him to the ground, and he wasn't fighting back too hard that I saw, just was really confused and angry that he was being, pinned down to the ground. And the cops didn't say anything the entire time I was there. He was asking, why are you arresting me? What is this for? And they remained silent. People around me were shouting, why aren't you reading him his Miranda rights? Took out a can of mace and actually tried to mace him in the face, which it did hit his face. I'm not sure how much of it got in his eyes, but they maced him at least 3 to 4 minutes after they had already tackled him. It will be very mixed. It will be very heated because the people who witnessed it were very upset with the cops. They did not understand why the cops were being so violent with this guy. They kept shouting, why aren't you saying anything to him? What did he do wrong? And I feel like students are going to be very up in arms over the way the police reacted to this guy and treated this guy, but then also just the fact that this woman who has been allowed to stand out there and preach has caused this to happen and has just been basically a nuisance on campus, disrupting classes.
Campus police said there was no pepper spray used in the arrest, but the video provided to us showed otherwise, though the officer only used the spray to what looked like a scare tactic.
In the video, we did see a spray.
Mm-hmm.
You said it wasn't pepper spray, but could you identify what it was?
Oh, it was pepper spray. It was just never used.
Just was never
Yeah.
used. On him or just?
It was never used. I mean, I think the officer held it toward his face to get him to comply with the verbal directives, but he never used it.
Check out the Echo for the full version of the story.